What up, my fellow Game of Thrones nerds? It's Daniel here again, back with another recap of Season 8, Episode 1 of Game of Thrones, and man, was it amazing! From beginning to end, I just loved it. From the opening credits, the scenes on those were amazing, down to only 4 areas in Westeros: the Wall, the Lost Hearth, Winterfell, and King's Landing, and the details inside of King's Landing and Winterfell were just so amazing, down to the blue tiles flipping for the White Walkers and the crypts inside of Winterfell. Just everything on just the opening scenes just got me so hyped for this whole season. Just so amazing. And then just starting off with the kid running. That was just so reminiscent of Season 1, Episode 1. Bran and Arya going back. They're trying to see the king riding up into Winterfell, and they're so stoked. And Bran's climbing the wall to go see him. Arya's running across Winterfell to go see him. And this little random kid in Episode 1 is also doing the same. They had like 4 or 5 at least matching shots in this episode that were matching Episode 1, Season 1, which was just impeccable. It just got you going. And even when Daenerys and Jon are riding up, and the theme music to it, it's just like King Robert riding up with Cersei and everyone. It was the same music. So on point. Like, they really get really good with the details. And so the next thing I'm going to talk about, it would be Arya's looks. I mean, the way she looks at every person is just, you know how she feels. The way she stares at the Hound, the way she smiles at Gendry, the way she awes at the dragons. She wears her emotions on her sleeve, even though she doesn't think she does. I mean, you can kind of always tell where she's going with it. But again, I'll get back to Arya in a little bit more. The next thing I'm going to talk about is Tyrion's jokes. The eunuch jokes are always just so amazing. Just down for, because he knows he gets made fun of so much in life that he has to take the jab sometimes. He has to just make a little quip here and there to make himself feel a little higher in life. Yes, that was a short joke. Ha. And then just how upset and terrified the North was of Sansa riding up with her friends from Essos, the Dothraki, the Unsullied, Grey Worm, and Melisandre. And yeah, they were just, you could tell the Northerners really just haven't seen people from Essos that much. And I don't know why that is, or why people from Essos just don't like the North. I guess I probably wouldn't like it either, but it makes sense, I guess. But when the dragons flew over, you had half the people freaking out, and you had half the people being like, yes. Pretty amazing. Next I'm going to talk about, sorry, I write notes down because just so much going on that you got to have notes sometimes. It really does help. So I like to look it over so I don't miss a beat on my videos. So next I'm going to talk about would be when Jon and Bran meet. Really great meeting. I love it. Bran does do a little smirk, more than he does with Sansa ever when they meet. And, just, what does Bran mean by almost a man? That's one of the question marks of this episode for me. If I had to guess, I mean, a little bit of my prediction on it would be that he just means that he's not who he was before. He's not a man, he's not Bran, he's not anyone's particular. He's just the three-eyed raven. That doesn't make him a man, doesn't make him anything. It just makes him the three-eyed raven. So that's always what he thinks he's gonna be. And next I'm gonna talk about would be just Sansa's smugness. Ooh, yeah, just Sansa's smugness really kind of gets me a little bit. She's always talking down to people, giving people looks like, you're really gonna give the mother of dragons, like, you're gonna roll your eyes at her because she called you beautiful like the North, really? That's pretty ridiculous. And then you're gonna try to backtalk her and Jon and pretty much everyone else that sits at your table. You think you're pretty much at a table higher than them, kind of thing. And I just love when Daenerys shits her down. What do dragons eat anyways? Whatever they want. And then the Arya and Jon reunion. God, that was like top 3 moments in this episode for me. Pretty dang good. Got me a little choked up. Not too much, just a little bit. Because you always knew that they were the siblings that truly cared about each other, even though they were half siblings. They were both like kind of the outcast. He was the bastard. She was kind of the tomboy. They just kind of worked out with each other. They really made it work, and they really loved each other. So you can tell that when they met back up, that love was still there. But then it was confusing with her and Sansa. It's like Sansa's not the smartest person she's ever met. She's met far smarter. But I don't know why I guess she wants to be a part of the pack. I guess it makes sense. She doesn't want to be a lone wolf anymore. She's been off on her own for too long. And it's just not fun for her anymore. She wants to be a Stark again. And she likes being a Stark. But she's kind of excluding Jon from being a Stark when she's doing it. Not the best idea. But I hope it's just kind of like a 1 episode thing and they kind of with it. It's kind of just over. But we'll see how that goes. Next, I'm going to talk about the Golden Company. Ooh, 20,000 men, 2,000 horses. That is pretty impressive. And I think we were all feeling the same thing that when Cersei said, really one of those elephants. I think we all really wanted those elephants. Like, that would have been pretty baller to see those things getting rode by like two dudes freaking just going down and destroying some Dothraki. Ooh, that would have been great. So that one hurt me, but maybe they'll take away because the show couldn't afford to do elephants, and maybe they're gonna put it more toward Ghost, but still haven't seen Ghost in like 2 seasons, so lame. But why would Cersei be crying too? That was the craziest thing to me. She was crying. I mean, she invited him to bed. She obviously wanted him at some kind of point, or she wanted his aunt or his navy. She wanted something from him. So the tears, I think, would have to be from a secret that she's keeping, which would probably, I would think, would be she already had the miscarriage, and the dead giveaway would be she was just straight drinking a full glass of wine, like poured to the tippy top. And I don't know. I mean, I know things are different in that area or whatever. I know they're not our current time or anything like that. But still, they got to know that drinking during pregnancy isn't really the greatest idea. Especially someone of that noble birth should have maesters telling them, maybe lay off the hooch, girl. Maybe? We'll see. I don't know. I have a little prediction for this one. Sorry, I got too much stuff on my table. I think Theon's gonna survive and do something heroic because they're kind of leading him up to that. The way they bring him back last season, basically when he washes his face off, he's getting born again in the Salton Sea, and I think that's when he turned back into Theon, and I think it really helped him out a lot. So I'm not gonna say it, but he kind of grew his back and in some way, and is standing up for himself and his family, and I think it's looking good for him. And I wasn't, the first time I watched it, because I've already watched it like 3 times in 2 days, one day, yeah, 3 times in 1 day. I was kind of thrown up when Yara said, then go to Winterfell. when I first heard it, the first 2 times, it kind of sounded like she was angry about it. Like, oh, how dare you, go. But that when I watched it the 3rd time and I kind of saw her facial expressions a little bit deeper and I kind of focused in a little bit more, I was like, whoa, she actually means he should go. That's pretty nice of her. I think she just wants to go back and roll anyway, so not a bad gig for her either. The flying scene. Ooh, okay, yeah, that's top 2 scenes for me right there. That was pretty baller. Of course, the comparisons of Jon riding Rhaegal, who is named after Rhaegar Targaryen, which is his dad. I believe everyone predicted this, like 4 seasons back, that he would ride Rhaegal and then Tyrion would somehow ride Viserion. And it was just going to be this whole magical thing of how all of them are riding dragons. But I guess the Night King kind of threw a wrench in that thing. But 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I mean, I kind of thought he should ride Rhaegal. But I thought it was going to be more like he was going to need to ride Rhaegal and not want to ride him. And he's just going to be like a, hey, hop on. But still a very cool scene showing how you can dominate anything and just be on point with it. Very good. I mean, the writing was very good. The dragon staring, that was pretty awkward. Like, it took me a little while to be like, why are they staring? It's like, I guess because they're protective. But maybe, like, there's like 3 options. Like, maybe they're protective. Maybe they see Jon as their leader. Maybe they don't like Jon at all. Or maybe Drogon just doesn't like Jon at all, it seemed like. But I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird, but I hope that doesn't go anywhere else, because that was kind of random. But the waterfall, reminiscent of him with this other girl, they were both at a waterfall, and just as Daenerys said, she also said that they should not leave that place. So another scene for scene take back, but that was in season 3, I believe. But very good as well, how she's saying that they could stay for 1,000 years. No one would ever find them. Maybe the White Walkers eventually, but they might be gone by then. Fly on a dragon or 2. House Glover. Man, you're like, might be the house I hate the most actually now. Like, it's like you Lannisters, because I actually like a couple Lannisters now, and then like everyone else, because like you guys are really gonna back out of everything you always pledge. You pledged to House Stark once, bailed. Pledged because of the Red Wedding, great job. All right, and then you bail again because Jon gave up his throne, and you weren't feeling it. But that really doesn't make sense, because Sansa said that they would stand behind Jon Snow, but that's not what they said. They did say he did say at some point, I'll stand behind Jon Snow, the King of the North, but he said that House Glover will stand behind House Stark as they have for 1,000 years. Jon was right on that part, to a T. And yeah, he added at the end that, yeah, we'll stand behind Jon Snow, the King of the North, but you also pledged to a house that pledged to another house. So just because they pledged to another house doesn't mean you get to black out of your vows. Lady. Sorry, my dog's all over the place right now. And then Sansa just defending everyone else that isn't Jon Snow or Daenerys. It's like, she always wants to be the right one, and it's just pretty frustrating sometimes. It's like, really, girl? You're not right. You weren't. He said he was going to stand behind House Stark, and he didn't. So, I think you should do what you promised to do to the Karstarks and the Umbers. You should uproot them out of that freaking castle and put in some people that are actually devoted to you. Maybe a Bronn or 2. I mean, he's not devoted to you yet, but he might come around. I think he will. Let's see where we're at. Okay. The best and hardest scene the Samuel Tarly scene. With him and Daenerys and Jorah. Like, Jorah brought her in to thank him. And then just the way the Samuel character, I need to learn his real name, but how that character acted in that whole scene was amazing. How astonished he was to see Daenerys. How thankful he was. How grateful he was for the pardon. And then at the end, where she has to inform him that not only did she kill his father, that perhaps, yeah, he didn't like very much. I mean, kind of reasonable if you've watched the last couple of seasons. But he actually did, I think, have a pretty good relationship with his brother. So I think that one's going to hurt a little bit more than the dad thing. I think that's what really hit him home, is that he did love his brother. And just because he stood with his dad, he had to die. And I don't think Sam agrees with that very much. I mean, he's seen how Jon Snow doesn't do that. And I think he knows that to be a good ruler, you gotta make better choices than that. And Daenerys just doesn't seem to want to sometimes. She just seems to want to do what she wants to do. And then the fact that she's saying she's gonna fix the Citadel when she gets on the throne, blah, 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 also just makes me think that she's probably not gonna sit on the throne ever. It's like, you're gonna make claims about what you're gonna change and how you're gonna do it and blah, 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 even before you get on the throne, yet you can't even say who's gonna success you. It's like, really? You're being pretty smug about that. I'm sorry. A little smug. I got a little choked up in that scene. I mean, just with Samuel, it was hard. It would be like someone telling me they had to get rid of 2 of my family members because they didn't like them. It's like, how do you deal with that? It's like, and he just walked out of it, and he kind of dealt with it like a man. And then you just have Bran Stark just always staring at people like, who's pushing him around? Is he just kind of wheeling it and then just parks it, chills? I mean, does he at least have like a half Hodor maybe pushing him around now to kind of help out? Because it doesn't seem like he has that upper body strength to be getting all these places at once. Like, he seems to really be wheeling around quite a bit and then just staring hard. Like, he knows what's up. He knows what is up. It's like, with him and Sam, him and Tyrion, and then at the end, him and Jaime, but I'll get back to that one. And actually, I did forget to talk about the Tyrion and Sansa reunion. Again, Sansa just being smug. Oh, I used to think you're the cleverest man ever. It's like, really? Why didn't you ever tell him that then when you guys were actually together and you were always just crying like a little girl? I mean, you were a little girl, but it was like, did you really have to like be so naive that little and just always think that you're the poor, pitiful you? And then now that you're not poor, pitiful you, you get to just step on everyone that's lower than you? Again, another short joke. Boom! So, I think that's why, sorry, going back to the Samuel Tarly thing though, I think that's why he wanted to tell Jon. That's why he was so tempted to. He was tempted to tell Jon because he doesn't want Dany as his ruler. He's cool with her being on Dragonstone, but he does not want her getting anywhere near Hornhill, I think. I mean, after the things he's heard, I think he's okay with her not ruling, and I think he knows what kind of ruler Jon would be. So him running up to Jon and telling him who he was, and Jon really trying to resist facts for what they are, which are facts, was kind of silly. I mean, not silly in the sense that the scene was silly, but just in the fact that Jon Snow needs to just realize what's going on and what needs to happen. I mean, he's seen Daenerys do some pretty crazy stuff, and he also knows that he could probably be a better ruler. And you call it treason? I don't think it's treason if you're the one that should be in charge. I mean, that doesn't make much sense to me. It'd only be treason if you're trying to overthrow the person that should be in charge. But again, I think there's probably going to be more dialogue dialogue in that one coming soon. I think episode 2 is really gonna actually skip over most of it, but I think he might actually tell Dany in episode 2 that they can't be together because he's not down with that. I mean, she might be because she's a Targaryen, but I don't think Jon's down with that. He'd rather be alone. And I think that's not going to hit well with both of them. Let's see, where am I? I lost my spot. The blue, okay. When Tormund Giantsbane and Dolores said, meet, that blue-eyed comment was hilarious. How'd it go again? It was, watch out, boys. He's got blue eyes. I've always had blue eyes. Yeah, terrible impression, but you know how it goes. Super amazing. Tormund, I'm sorry, I just don't think he's going to make it, though. But I got more predictions coming up. We'll see. He's a great character, but Ned Umber and that symbol really hurt. Because Sansa pretty much sent him off to his death. Great job, Sansa. You really knew how to rule on that one. You're like, hey, just hurry back. Like, you guys didn't know the wall just fell. You didn't hear that from Bran like 20 seconds ago, or I guess in your time like 5 minutes ago before you sat down. But sure, I mean, she sent off Ned to go get his people, and just didn't care after that. At least the Karstark girl got back. Didn't really think she would, actually. I thought she was gonna be like the first like scene of the whole episode, being like the Karstarks are gone. I thought like the end of the episode would be like the Umbers were gone. But boom. But no, they just got one house, which hopefully they go after the Umbers next, because screw you, Umbers. Or not Umbers, sorry. Glovers. Glovers, man. Don't like you much. Or at all. And then Bran he was talking about the old friend right when he said it. I knew who that was. Knew who that had to be. Because he's going to call him a friend because they've never been friends. They've never even been acquaintances. He's been someone who threw him out a window and then hoped he died. So right when he said it, I pretty much knew, because it was like a play on words. It was just, you knew who he was just waiting for. But also, if you're the Three-Eyed Raven, why do you wait for someone? Shouldn't you know when they're gonna roll up? Like, hey, I went 8 hours into the future. That's when you got here. Okay, I'm gonna sit here for like that. I'm gonna go up there in like 5 or 6 hours just to make sure he gets there and I don't miss him. But I guess whatever. When you're Bran, I guess you can do whatever you want. You're the Three-Eyed Raven. And yeah, that was not my favorite ending ever. I hate cliffhangers where it's like, ooh, what are they gonna say to each other? But the whole episode as a whole, gotta give it like a 9 out of 10. 8.5, 9 out of 10, because it could have been a little more action, but every episode 1 of every season always is a setup. The setup to tell you what's gonna happen, what the season's gonna be about, and just how it's gonna go along and where everyone's at. And one last thing, the Arya and Gendry thing, loved it. And the picture that she gave him, the drawing, I think is gonna be meant for not just White Walkers. I think it's gonna be meant for the Night King and the dragon. It looks like it's a spear that can be thrown, detached, and then re-screwed into another one and thrown again or stabbed again. So she can get, I think she knows she needs to get a few hits in. It's not going to take one hit. So that's why it has that little detachable part to it. And I don't know. I mean, I think if anyone should end up together, I mean, it's not Daenerys and Jon. It's Arya and Gendry. They're amazing. Or Arya and the Hound. Kidding. But that would still be pretty funny. Their interactions were pretty amazing. But yeah, I mean, pretty great episode. I really enjoyed the whole thing. Took me 2 years. I had to wait. We all had to wait 2 years to get to it. Well worth the wait. I enjoyed it from beginning to end, and kind of wish it was a little bit longer, a little more action-packed, but I think they did a really good job at it. So that's all from me today. Here's me signing off. Again, this is Daniel Mullet. See you later, and check in on Thursday for my predictions on episode 2, because they're going to come in hot. I'm going to have at least a top 10 of my predictions on what will happen in episode 2. So watch out for that, guys. See you soon.